Welcome to Words for the Journey, words of faith, hope, and life for the journey that we're on. And I want to begin a new series of little messages, little talks about faith or belief or trust, different words that we can use. Oftentimes people think faith, oh, that means faith in a God or faith in religion or faith in religious things. And that can be true. So there's faith that is connected with religion, and for me, specifically Christianity. But then there's also different kinds of faith that people have, even non religious people. When I hear about people saying, oh, just believe in yourself, or believe in this fact, or believe in the experts, believe even in science, or in your reason, or in the things you can grab onto, things that you can see and touch. There's all kinds of different beliefs that people have. Now, I want to talk specifically about Christian belief, or how the Bible thinks about Christian belief, or belief, trust, faith, all those things. But I want to recognize very early on, especially in the early episodes, that faith these days is very challenging. Not to say that faith wasn't challenging in the past, but I think faith in our modern world, in our contemporary world, is very challenging also for Christian believers or for religious people. So I'm thinking about a book that I read recently by Charles Taylor. He's a Canadian philosopher, called A Secular Age. And basically, in that rather large book, Professor Taylor is talking about how have we moved from a time about 500 years ago, at least in Western Europe, where belief was kind of easy. Most people believed. It was very unusual for people not to believe. How have we moved from that situation to a situation today where faith is basically one of the many options out there? It's not assumed that you're going to believe. It's not assumed that most people believe. So he very helpfully helps us understand how we've moved from that situation 500 years ago in Western Europe to today, where faith is one option among many. And I would say, as a Christian pastor, how we've moved from a time 500 years ago where many pastors and Christians were advocating for the faith, defending the faith, to a time today where some pastors and churches, well, they won't defend the faith and sometimes even question the faith. And maybe even some of them would say, I'm some version of a non-theist or an atheist. When I think about that, I realize we're in a very different time than 500 or even 200, 100 years ago. We're in a time where faith is very challenging for people in general, but also for pastors and religious leaders. So in coming episodes, we'll talk about why it's so challenging, but then also look a little bit at the Bible. What does the Bible tell us about faith and the challenges of faith in the past, and also the challenges of faith today? So join us as we look at faith on Words for the Journey.